This is Wayne here with Tri County Locksmith Service. We're going to be doing some fabrication today. Basically, we have this bumper that I previously built, heavy duty, right here, and we're going to mate that to our van here. This was one of my first fabrication products that I made. Just took some tubing, cut some 22.5 angles, welded them back to each other here, and here, and it was originally on this pickup over here, and now we almost hit a deer the other night, so we figured it might be better served on the vehicle that's going to be running around at night. Basically what we're going to need to do is take these big pieces of channel that I found. This is one of my favorite things to do, is find pieces of metal, chunks of metal like this, and these were actually curved perfectly to what we're going to need. So right here you can see how thin this little tiny thin metal is, and we're going to replace it with this thicker metal. We're going to cut all this stuff off, weld it back together, and put it right in there, and it'll give us that nice round shape. And then our other bumper will mount up here. Basically, this is going to protect everything lower down here, and this bumper is going to protect clear up to here, whereas if you hit a deer, it's going to be mid-body up here rather than way down here. So we're going to have full facial protection on this. And we'll just go through some of the steps as we take on this project. Here's our van. We got the original bumper off. We got the new one welded together, so we can start making sure the curve is just right. Now I found this piece of channel iron just perfectly curved, pretty much. It's just a little bit different, but where it meets up with the bolts here and over there, it's absolutely perfect. Really good find. I can't believe I found that. This iron is actually the lining for a giant ore mining machine that just happened to be in a junk pile, and I asked the guy if I could buy anything from him. He said yeah, so he let me buy this stuff. It is amazing how that stuff can turn out perfect like that if you're looking and you know what you're looking for. So we're gonna replace this. You can see the difference in the thickness here. I mean, that's what was on there, very, very thin, and that's what we're replacing it with, very, very thick. So this will support the weight of that, which will be welded on top here when we're done. So we'll have full protection against all of this stuff here in the front end and all the way up to the hood. Here we got our bumper all mounted up and welded together. We had a couple rough spots. You can see we got a weld all the way down the center there, and then this was all missing from the original cutting torch. That was the way I got it, so we filled it all in with some filler beads. Basically it kind of looked like this over here, but it had cut into there. So we got all that filled in. Everything's welded up, front, top, and back side. And now we're going to clean it up, trim the edges off the ears, and get the other bumper mounted on top of it. Here we got our other bumper welded on, and we got some good weld spots right here. I usually just like to leave the weld right on there, just because I've been doing it and just kind of like the way it looks. That's about 7 stacks of weld right there to build that up for the main anchoring point there. And here's these are about three stacks right there to come up on there and hold that all down. And then there's our main seam, and then here's where we filled all this in so it would kind of fit in line there. Filled that one in, and we just got to trim the edges up and paint it, and we'll be done. We did that with some tools that we do tool reviews on the Metabo drill, DeWalt 4.5 inch grinder, DeWalt 7.5 inch grinder, rigid shop vac, and some others, good old Harbor Freight helmet, and our Lincoln 180 HD welder, and we'll paint it up and trim it down, and we'll get one more shot of it, and that'll be the whole thing. Here we have our bumper all finished. You can see how it wraps around the sides. Got it painted. You can see how the front here looks, and comes around the side. Got it all trimmed up, painted, backside painted, and basically this bar here is designed, this whole thing was designed for impact with a deer or some sort of animal on the road. Been having a lot of that here. We had 5 deer in 5 miles on the stretch of highway that we've been running after hours calls and things like that, and so that's what this was designed for. It's designed to push the animal away and down rather than have it come up to the hood here and come up into the windshield. It's also designed for winter time, snow use. We got tow hooks. This van didn't come with any tow hooks whatsoever to begin with on the front or the back, and so we've made it to where it's a lot more useful. Here's the old bumper. You can compare thickness of what that was. Pretty cheap, pretty tinny. You know, 10 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour even bend this bumper up pretty good. Not going to bend that one. And here was a plastic around it. I mean, just cheapo plastic. One little impact and you'd be done. So again, there's an angle of that forward angle. Then we made one for the rear as well. You can see. I just like the way this chain looks on here. You know, it does serve a little bit of function. It holds that bar to that bar. It is fully welded on the back, but it does have some function and as well as aesthetics. And then we've got our probably 8 packs of weld in there to weld this to this plate, and then we got 4 packs of weld to get that up into there. We got chain welded on there, and then for other towing options, got chain welded back there. Heavy duty 1/4 inch walled tubing. All the ends have been capped off on both sides. Just use 1/4 inch plate steel. Cut them off, grind them off, and grind them smooth. And that's what you can accomplish. They don't even make a aftermarket bumper for the Chevy Astro, and so I just had to make one. So that's what you can make if you got some time and a welder and some grinders, a drill, basic hand tools. I was looking online, and bumpers similar to this were for full-size pickups were going for $2,000 a piece or more, $2,400 for a front bumper, $1,400 for a rear bumper. So that's you know, if you got a welder and some time and some tools and some know-how, you can build something like this too.